they still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one hover, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. We always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Jaceki in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman Jeff Trumbull. We're live here at the Moerlein Lager House. We are here celebrating Terry Francona. I'll put it that way. We're going to celebrate. We're celebrating the offense. The offense is unbelievable for the Cincinnati Bengals. The defense, it's not so great. But if you guys are out and about, come on down to the Lager House. It is happy hour. We got $5 drafts, $2 off appetizers. And it goes all the way till 9 o'clock tonight. So get on down here and get yourself food and drink. And after that, maybe tomorrow, do me a favor. Go check out Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery right there on the east side of town. Get you some CTV wings, some Uno wings, some G-Funk. I highly recommend it. Tell Tim Nicole I sent you. Also, the show is brought to you by Meyer Windows and Doors and more. Check it out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got it at my house. I highly recommend you get it at yours. And the West Side peeps, please do me a favor. Check out Hail Marys. Get your ticket to the game. Free parking, beer specials, big-ass TV screen, food trucks. It's an awesome place right in the middle of Cheviot. And for the next Bengals home game, we are doing this every Bengals home game. The Mercedes-Benz at Fort Mitchell at the Moerlein Lager House pregame experience. 3 hours before every Bengals home game. People, it's only $75. $75. Two of the best words in the English language is open bar. You can't beat this deal. Open bar, a buffet spread, it's awesome. So get your tickets. Check out Moerlein Lager House social media platforms. Check out mine as well. What's up to everybody in the chat? Let's see here. Who we got here first? I'll get my screen roll out here. Stranger's in there. Brad's in there. Which Brad is in the house tonight, so he's double duty. Paul Painter's there. Tony Blazin, Holmes, Douglas, and Dustin. What is going on? All right, I want to bring my partner in crime here for today. He's Joe Schmidt. What's going on, Joe?
Crime has not been proven nor committed as long as far as committed.
Oh, nothing, dude. I'm just trying to get over this loss, dude. I like 41 points.
It didn't happen. I'm blocking it from my memory.
41 points. You gave up 41 points.
They scored 38, though.
But you gave up 41. You can't win. You gave up 41.
Yeah, I know. It's a problem. They looked solid enough for the first half. Halftime, Bengals did the double dip. They scored right before halftime, came out, scored again, and they're looking in good shape. They were up by 10 points.
If Joe doesn't turn an interception, we win the game. We got about three scores. And I'm not blaming Joe, but that's true. He does.
Honestly, yeah, probably. But again, you're still expected to put some kind of stop up on the board. And yeah, that would be. There was 3 minutes left when that happened.
Something happened.
But there's still no confidence that they would back-to-back scores immediately.
I would have rather take that chance.
Well, obviously,
it's that way.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Your odds are a lot better scoring than turning the ball right over and then going right down and tying back up.
All right, well, let's get our ugly mugs off here. We need to get somebody who's a little better looking than definitely you. I'll tell you that. She's none other than Gabi Sorrentiino. She's from Fox 19. So everybody give it up for Gabi. Thank you, Gabi.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy to be here.
No problem. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. So, for people who don't watch Fox 19, one, they're crazy. You should watch it. What are you doing? Because Fox 19, I think, does the best Bengals coverage because you are the home of the Bengals. And I highly recommend you guys watch Bengals Breakdown because it's a great program. But tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you got here.
Yeah, so I grew up watching sports. I grew up in the D.C. area, moved to Baltimore. going to Commanders now, games, Ravens games, and really fell in love with sports. Decided that I wanted to do TV for a living. Went to undergrad at St. Mark University and didn't really get much of a TV experience there. So I went to USC in Southern Cal for grad school, loved every minute of it, and ended up the small station in Southern Illinois is my first job. And I spent 2 years there, and then I'm here in Cincinnati, and I'm loving every second of my time here.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're here, and I think you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Well, what is well, we know you are on the inside. You got the locker room in. So what's the problem? What's going on with the defense? Can you fix it for us?
I wish I could. I've been bad luck since I've been here. I'm so sorry about that. I really was hoping that Rachel and I come in, we turn things around. Everybody told us about the historically slow start that these Bengals have, but I don't think any of us were really expecting this. So I wish I could fix all the problems, give us some wins, but fix it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, and the funny thing that cracks me up is people are, and I had got to try to teach one of the guys that work, and they're like, oh, we really got to blow the top off of the defense. The offense really got to do a lot more. We scored 30 points.
Right.
I mean, we can't dig and dunk down the field. I'm like, we threw a deep ball to Jamar Chase for a touchdown.
Almost threw a deep ball to Yoshi.
What? It's not the offense.
Right.
I don't understand why people still are blaming the offense when your defense is giving up 41 points.
Yeah, I feel like it's rare that you lose football games when you score that many points. I mean, there's like the fifth.
You can't hear her at all? Oh, I can't hear you on the internet for some reason. Turn her up. She is up. I don't know. Here, give me that mic. There, let's try it. Here, let's try that mic. Is that any better? Check. Well, I don't know why I'm saying check. But anyway, just keep talking. So, we'll figure it out eventually. Huh? What's echoing? All the mics are off. There's not echoing at all. Anyway, this is not very good TV. We'll just keep talking. If I'm talking, nobody's know what we're talking about. So, yes, how do we fix this? I'll put it that way. Because that's where I was at. I completely forgot where I was at.
How do we fix it? Well, I don't think the injuries help. I think that's a really nice thing for this team with all the injuries. I think that's injured.
Yes.
Doesn't help as well. But I just think that the offense is so on it. Joe Burrow has been playing on, like he said, he played here perfect. He almost played perfect.
Right.
Trying to find a reception, but the defense just seems to catch up. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and I'm down to where I think it's personnel decisions. Gino Stone has not worked. Von Bell has not worked. Sam Hubbard has been injured, and he hasn't been as effective. He at the end get a better game. I get stiff arm by Lamar. Safety was good play, but it's just they need to, if they can make one or two stops more a game, we could be 5-1.
Especially 5-0. I mean,
5-0, yeah.
They're 4 one-score games. I mean, they're not getting obliterated, but the defense is going to obliterate. But they've been in every game. It's frustrating because this isn't a team that is known for making changes halfway through the season. Best they might do is maybe swap out one position coach, but they're not going to make any trades. Obviously, there's no one that's there's no major impact player that's available out there in the middle of the season. But it's kind of at this point just hope you can patch things up. Guys getting healthy, younger guys picking up the pace. Kevin Jackson now has played 9 snaps in his NFL career.
Yeah, and what 4 practices?
Yeah, I think he's had more snaps than actual NFL practice.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. So that's just what you have to hope for is the young guys coming up to speed and some of the older veterans that have struggled to regain what they're supposed to be or figure out what the problem is. Why is Geno Stone looks so lost?
Another thing that I will say is that, watching that second night game with the Raiders and the Bills, I thought I was like, they're going to run defense.
Right.
But they really just couldn't.
Right. Other than that last one, right.
So I think that the run defense really improved.
Yeah. The run defense was better.
Yeah.
It was the pass. And the thing is, you can't give quarterbacks as much time as you get. We're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. I mean, we can stand back there and you can have Deion Sanders be a DB, but if they got 15 seconds or more, they're probably going to find a way to get the ball to them.
A lot of them have time,
Yeah.
a lot around their plays, and
They're running wide open a lot.
And what did I say? I think I said here on on last Tuesday. If they can hold Derrick Henry to under 120 yards, I think they're going to be in good shape. At least to make it a close game. And that happened, but obviously that wasn't enough because Lamar Jackson was slinging the ball around like he was.
I can't hear it all. I can't hear me now. What did you do? I can't hear nothing now.
You guys are still coming through.
Okay. Check.
You guys are still online.
That's awesome, but we're not going through here at all. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me?
Live
streaming, people.
This is awesome audio.
Exactly.
For everybody.
Yeah. I'm like,
see, this is why you guys should be here in person and not just.
Well, they can't even hear us now.
Well,
I don't know what the heck happened.
You're online.
I understand that these are not working at all.
Well, I guess everyone should be online and not here in person.
Right, exactly.
Turn this on so you can use online.
Huh?
Yes.
Start working. Yes, your headphones.
Check. All right, we'll go with this. For some reason, I guess you maybe got to share a mic now. I don't know what that. That is weird because they're both on. So anyway, all right, we'll try this again. But yeah, they were the defense. There's too many passes where it seemed like they were running wide open, and unfortunately, that reminded me of the first year of Lou being our defense coordinator. I know you weren't here, but there's a lot of times where our guys are running wide. Their guys are running wide open on across the middle. And I saw that a lot this past Sunday.
No, that's just my microphone.
Oh.
That's my computer. They're all going through here. All four of them are. So it's.
Sorry, we're having problems here. So, all right.
We checked this crap. It all worked.
It all worked before we went live. Now it all just had to stop. Yeah. So, question with this: if we had a couple more wins, Joe Burrow, how far ahead is Joe Burrow of everybody in the MVP conversation?
Oh, man, I think that he'd be one of, if not the top, in the MVP conversation if it weren't for the defense that was struggling.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor said after, he said, we keep coming up one play short.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is like the definition of this season so far is that every game has felt like it's so increasing. And I was sitting up in the press box watching, and I'm like, they've got this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were multiple points where, like, they've got this. This is a win. The guys are going to be happy in the locker room. They're going to have great post-game interviews. And then they come up one play short, and it wasn't that. So I think that Joe, first in so many categories, second, third, like he's playing the best that he can be right now, especially coming off the injury. So I definitely think that he would be at the top of that list.
Yes, but Chris Canty says he's not doing enough for them to win.
Chris Canty's an idiot. I'll say that right now.
He's got a good quarterback rating of 113.7 for 5 games, coming back from a wrist injury. Had a couple of turnovers, fumbled, and the interception was at the time, but you can't be perfect every single game, and he's expecting to be perfect because it's just not getting anything on the other side of the ball. Do you sense frustration from? Obviously, the team is frustrated, but I mean, some of the offensive guys feeling a little frustrated towards the guys on the defense. Obviously, they're not going to come out and say it because they're professional, but can you tell? I don't know, maybe a little tinge in their voice or some kind of nonverbal communication makes it kind of I mean, Jamar talks about not running a great route on the interception.
Yeah.
Brother, that's put up 38 points. There's nothing you can do. Exactly.
Yeah, and like you said, I'm not going to come out and say that, of course, but I do think during Joe Burrow's press conference, you could tell a little bit of that frustration because he does know that he's done, a lot and has played really well. And, the defense is so important, too. You can't give up, 41, 38, all these points. I saw you guys before. They've given up the second most points of any NFL team, only behind the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to win.
Yeah.
When your defense is giving up all these points. It's hard for the offense to continue to score.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the whole frustration comes in with this. And my question is, all right, so everybody, some people want to go, we got to fire Zach Taylor. We got to fire Zach. I'm like, or I had some of Dustin on here on the comments. He kept mentioning that again, and I still don't understand how does it help. Maybe Zach should give up the play call. I don't know how that would help the defense. To me, the problem is, I'm not going to say it's Lou. I think it's a personnel. The guys just aren't as good as we thought they were. I mean, Geno Stone is I think more a product of who you were talking about.
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah,
Kyle Hamilton's fantastic. If you watched him on Sunday, he was the best player almost on the field. As great as Joe Burrow was, you're seeing him in 3 levels. I mean, he's making rushing passer. He was in there on Joe a few times, making plays in the run game, and he's fantastic coverage. Best coverage safety in the NFL, and he's got almost linebacker size, 6'4", 220. So
exactly. So that's the thing. Did Gio Smith get his money because of Hamilton? Did we get screwed without a better way of saying it? Yeah, we're you and me are good. He's much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about all the Zach Taylor stuff. I know that, he stands behind his play calling. I know that he said in his press conference that I still believe that this is a championship caliber team. That was the quote. So
right.
if you write us off, you are done.
Yeah.
That was the quote. I think it's really strong words coming from him. And then Joe Burrow came in and said we're not a championship.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, okay.
I don't think they're on the same page.
Yeah, they're not on the same page. But yeah, I mean, I do think it's all. When you go to the locker room, you're around these guys day in and day out, you do sense frustration because the expectations are a lot higher for this group.
I mean, the crazy thing is, and I'm the eternal optimist. He's the realist. There's still a chance if the defense
was so soft.
if the defense can step up, make 1 or 2 more stops, they could go out and go on a long winning streak here. I mean, it's going to have to be like a 10-game winning streak, but they've done it before. And I'm not saying it's going to. I have no freaking clue right now.
Be the 26th best defense, not the 31st, and then you're 3-2,
right?
And you've got the Giants. Like you've got the Eagles aren't playing real well. I think the Bengals are a better team, 1-53 than the Eagles, and I'm frustrated.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. But the crazy thing is, if somehow, some way they can figure out how to play a little better, they could turn this around.
There's a chance to go on a real
right.
There really is. There's a chance to go on a 4-game win streak with the Giants coming up. Then you head to Cleveland. Obviously, they're having their struggles there. We saw that this past Sunday. And then you have the Raiders here also struggling.
Yeah.
And then you have the Eagles team that yes, they have the pieces. I don't know what AJ Brown's health is going to look like, but they are struggling. So there is a chance to go 4-0 and get back in this game. I think that's key for the team.
And the crazy thing is, if we win one game, somebody said in the chat, won one game, that we're back in the freaking race as far as the one conference game. We're back in the race as far as the division goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how crazy this is. So I mean, for people like, you're just the eternal optimist, which I am. But I'm not just making this stuff up. It actually could happen.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, will it happen? I have no idea. I hope it does.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really important season.
The only problem is right now they're 0-3 in the conference, and that's for any sort of tiebreakers. You're already well behind the 8 ball. Never mind, you want to get tiebreakers in your division. Again, I've said this 3 weeks in a row. Like, this is a must-win, but I think if they don't win against the Giants, I think that 1-5, there's no way getting out.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. It's a big hole has to be
Yeah.
out, right? I mean, it is. Anytime you have 1 minute, it's a big hole to get out. I said the same thing. I had a Baltimore game. I usually like a rant every morning called the wake up call, and my rant was that this Baltimore game is a must win, and that didn't happen. But I do think that every game going forward, is, and especially against the struggling Giants team, which has proven to us that they can be a little frisky and fun. I don't know what Malik Neighbors' status is, but he's a weapon.
He's there.
He's a legit player.
It's LSU wide receivers, man. Those guys, they know they grow wide receivers on trees down there.
Yeah. I don't hear it.
Damn it. One question that someone asked in chat here, and it's Andrew. It's the question is: are these loose players, or he had no voice in the players? We know that the Bengals coaches get a lot of say. They've got the smallest scouting department. The coaches get a lot of input. Do you think that it's a problem with the scheme, or is it a problem just with the players? I mean, obviously, it all comes down to players. Jimmy's and Joe's, not the X's and O's. But do you think that if they had a better scheme, I'm not going to say better coach because who knows anything like that, but
right,
that they'd be able to cobble together a functional middle of the road defense with the players that they have. That's open the concern to save the season.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that I am going to say that I don't think that the injuries are helping with this group.
Definitely not.
I don't think that I think that has been a really big point. I don't know if I can't speak to the scheme versus the players, but I do think that's not helping. I don't know what you have to say about that.
Well, I mean, for like I've said this to Joe, and we still haven't seen this yet. The 4 guys that they counted on for the interior line have not played one single game together, all 4 of them. Will that? Yeah, I know. I don't know why that one's not working. Will that make a difference? I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I don't. I mean,
It's hard.
I
Yeah,
would have
it's
loved them to have signed DJ Reader,
hard.
and then you could have DJ Reader, BJ Hill, and Sheldon Rankins, and that would be close to what you had in the Super Bowl run where you had BJ, DJ, and Larry O.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't do that. And DJ Reader is a big loss. I mean, he takes up 2 guys. That frees up Sam on the outside, or hopefully Miles Murphy starts playing better on the outside.
Mhm.
Those are that's the thing that going into this season I was concerned about. It was the run defense because it wasn't that great last year, and we did okay to fix it, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, it's all fixed. I'm more concerned and shocked about the secondary, but that's also has to do with not getting pressure on the quarterback. So it all runs together for me, and that's where I'm like, excuse me, it's all bad. The defense just there's not one thing I go, okay, you fix this, then it's all right. But no,
I mean, it's literally issues at all 3 levels. You're not getting any pass rush, linebackers, and Logan Wilson's playing pretty well, but Pratt has struggled for the past year and a half. I like Akeem Davis-Gaither. I don't know if he's a starting linebacker in the NFL or Muma Jong Meta, who everybody loved.
He's great.
He got some run in this game, and I don't know. I didn't see him in the action until I saw 45 come off the field on TV, but they're at least looking like they're trying some different stuff. I mean, he mixed in Jordan Battle, and Jordan Battle was terrible in his limited snaps, but you had to try something. I mean, they were switching, now unfortunately with Dax hurt, but they were switching DJ Turner and CTB out the previous game. So I think they're at least willing to try a different rotation of players. But yeah, with the injuries, they can't get an actual core rotation of when to bring guys in and out, or guys, which guys work better. You know, what's your best tackle pairing for obvious rundowns or obvious passing downs. So that is an issue.
Yeah.
When it's a matter of just not enough bodies to do there, and you've got Zach Carter, who's been out of position since they drafted him and moved him to the wrong position.
Right.
Thank God he's elsewhere.
Yeah, there's no consistency, it feels like, in that group, and I think that's a big part of it too.
Exactly. Now, all right. So you've been how long you been in Cincinnati now? How many?
I started mid-May.
All right. So with the way the Red seasons went, the Bengals season, what do you have any funny stories that you're allowed to tell us? You know, any funny happenings happening in the clubhouse or locker room or anything like that?
Fun stories in the clubhouse or the locker room,
or any crazy stuff Joe Danneman does, you know, or Jeremy. Jeremy's probably the more crazy one. I put it that way.
Jeremy and Joe are great. There's always stories when Jeremy is involved. I think my favorite was them getting sprinklers on at Kansas City and absolutely getting drenched.
Yes.
Another funny thing that happened, Jeremy and I were out during training camp, and there's this really dark cloud coming before our live hit. It was just us. We didn't have a photog. And I said, Jeremy, is it supposed to rain? And he's like, oh, we got 52 minutes till rain comes. I'm like, okay. And we're in the middle of our live shot, and it just starts pouring. And I could not keep a straight face. So I'm cracking up. I'm dying. And he's like, well, there's the rain. And Caleb No from Channel 9 runs over, throws his entire jacket over our camera. Our camera's soaked. We get out of our live shot. We're drenched. And Jeremy's like, we still had another thing that we needed to record. And my hair is I'm an Italian. It is I look like a poodle at this point. I'm I'm not going on TV. So yeah, there you go. So he's like, can you just put the camera on your shoulder and film me? And so he is soaking wet, and I'm filming him out in the parking lot because we're trying to get out of there. And so I had a really good story. Luckily, I didn't have to be on TV again after that.
Hair and makeup were done then.
Yeah, I was bad. I think my other favorite something with the Reds was Hunter Green has obviously had an incredible season. And
yes.
I really wanted to talk to him, and
I really wanted to do a story about his dog,
Yes.
Ross. And I also wanted to get a little baseball question in there. So I went into the clubhouse and I said, Hunter, can I have you for a few minutes? And he's like, oh, not today. And I was like, but I really want to talk to you about your dog. And he was like, okay, I'll give you a few minutes. And I was like, yes,
You
I
knew
did
the
it.
way to get to
I
his
did
heart.
it. So I asked him a few questions about Ross. It was great. We had a great interview, and I threw a few baseball questions in there at the end, and it ended up being a really great interview with Hunter. And he retweeted the story and everything, so it was really good. So that was one of my favorite. That was one of my journalism moments.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with the Reds announcing Terry Francona was manager of the Cincinnati Reds this week, it became official Monday.
Yeah.
Me and Joe talked about that. Francona was number one on our list.
Yeah.
Neither one of us actually.
That's just you got to at least make a call. He's the best manager. I mean, not even the best manager available. He's a better manager than 29 guys that already have jobs right now. So you got to at least reach out and make him say no. And we're like, okay, well, on to the Skip Schumachers and Miguel Cairos and guys of that ilk.
So with that being said, we did not think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
How shocked were you guys in the sports department that it actually happened?
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading some of the here's a list of people that the Reds could hire, and he wasn't even on the list that I was reading. And so I know that it came as a surprise to a lot of fans because he wasn't even mentioned. It didn't even seem like that was a thing. And it was last Thursday. It was just me anchoring the 11 p.m. and the news. Kind of typical of the Reds. The news comes down at 10:30 on a Thursday. So I'm like, oh man, it's just me to figure this out. And I didn't know a lot about Terry, just, haven't been in the area, still learning. But everyone in the newsroom was like, oh my gosh. All the baseball fans were going crazy. And so I was like, okay, if Reds fans are having this much fun right now, it must be really good. So I know, Joe did his press conference yesterday, and it seems like everybody's really excited for this. And Joe said he was fantastic cracking jokes with the media and just a really nice guy to talk to. So I think we're really excited about that at Fox 19.
Yeah, just for me, when I was watching Fox 19 when it popped up.
There you go.
And my wife is in the bedroom getting ready to go to bed. I'm going, Jen, that's it. The Reds hired Terry Francona. She goes, cool. Who is that? I said, he's a really good Reds manager. I'm very happy about this. She's like, all right, great. She had no idea who it was.
I love that.
I was very excited. And my question is, how much do we owe Marty Brennaman for this?
Oh, man.
Because he is best friends with him.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he made a call, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think it's a home run hire for the Reds, and I'm really excited. I know that people here really want the Reds to, be a top team again. And look, he's not messing around. He said it straight up. He's like, I'm here to win. I'm here to win championships. Yeah, he's a championship winning manager. He's not here to just, go by having a 500 season. So I know that we're really excited to. I'm excited for opening day already. I mean, I
haven't experienced that yet. Yeah, you haven't experienced that yet.
She'll have to come here next year when because we had opening day right on the patio here. It's having a manager that has had success and Dusty was the last manager of the Reds, and I guess that was only a couple managers ago. But what's that? That was the last one I was excited about. Yeah, and just having a guy that when there's a struggle, when the team goes through a 2-8 spell, which is going to happen. Even the best teams have their down have bad spells, but having a guy that you can point to his resume in two cities. It wasn't a fluke just with the Red Sox winning 2 titles. He went to Cleveland and they won and won there. I mean, he was he was there for 11 years in Cleveland. I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah,
but it's having and it doesn't hurt that the Bengals have been disappointing, that the Reds fans, which obviously there's 99% crossover, but just having something, just a little bit of sunshine, a bit of optimism that obviously helps all of us. I mean, obviously much more for, on your end, just to have people that are going to watch the sports and pay attention and interact with the sports.
Yeah.
Well, obviously her show is a little, she does sports for local news, whereas you talk to some really intelligent, handsome guy from the east side of town.
There you go.
Who exactly is that guy?
That was awesome.
Definitely not anybody here.
Well, hey, I also don't think you come out of retirement
for
nothing, right? Hey, you're retired. Enjoy your life. You go on vacations and everything. He's coming out of retirement because he sees something, he's had the conversations, and I'm excited. Yeah, like I said, I accepted the job at Fox 19 around the time of opening day, and I saw all the tweets of like the banks in downtown being crazy, and I was like, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah,
and I think we're even more excited now for this team.
It's totally different from seeing it on TV and
Oh, I'm
experiencing
sure.
it here with the
I'm
parade
sure.
and just the banks. I mean, the banks is just packed.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's 42,000 seats in the stadium, and there's probably another 50,000
Wow.
people that are just wandering around
That's
outside,
crazy.
just in the atmosphere,
Just enjoying
hanging out
it.
at the bars and
Yeah.
just watching the parade and just hanging out. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you go over to the bank area over there. I mean, it's all of the banks, but over there, the block. I mean, it is full of. I mean,
Right.
it's a sea of red.
Yeah.
I mean, that we did our live show here last year.
Uh-huh.
That was full of people. We were out in front. It was full of people. I mean, and I can't imagine the excitement we had last year from the year before. If the Reds, my thing is the Reds got to do something in off season
Of course,
to
yeah.
capitalize on this.
Yes.
If they do that, this city's going to blow its top opening day. I think if they do so with Terry Francona.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's. I think it's changed a bit, but I still think at its core, Cincinnati's a baseball town. Especially with the ownership that has owned the Bengals for its existence. Even their success, there's always a John Desai looked at them like it's fleeting, enjoy it while it lasts. Let's hope the Reds get good because it's because of rest in peace Pete Rose and the Big Red Machine. Man, that's the town. I'm sure they'll do. I'm sure they'll do something to honor him at some point.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they've honored him. The Reds have honored him a few times. The Phillies have honored him. So there will be at least the patch or something on the wall.
Brad, who's doing double duty, he's over there sitting watching us. He's also giving me some content here. So Jeff, who should the Reds hire for their hitting coaches since they fired three today? Which I didn't even know they fired 3 coaches today.
Yes, they did.
And
all their hitting coaches they fired today.
And to be honest, I have no idea. I have
me either.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Pete Rose, but he's passed away, or Tony Perez, but I think he's too old to do it. So to be honest, you might have a better idea than I do.
There are no names because there's so many guys that are working behind the scenes just at some of these labs like Driveline. And I think you go there, that's where I think the Reds kind of screwed now, I don't know. They had Kyle Boddy, and Kyle Boddy is a huge personality, kind of a jerk. And obviously that there was at some point that relationship was going to split, but you want to keep that conversation because there are hitting coaches there. And yeah, they're more analytically driven, which is up my alley. But those are the guys that I think are good at teaching the mechanics. And it's not even about elevate and celebrate, just working on launch angle to hit bombs, but it's guys that can break things down so it's easily translatable to every hitter. The pitching staff and the pitching coordination from Derek Johnson all the way down, they've done a good job at having individual. He's staying. He's the one guy sticking around. But they have individual pitching plans in the offseason for each pitcher in the entire organization to work on. They need hitting coaches who can work on that for all players, even someone like Ellie, who had a fantastic season. Down to the lowest guy that's, playing in low A down in Daytona right now. So they need to have someone so they have a unified message from the majors all the way through all the levels and everything. But it names, I wish they would have kept Donnie Ecker, who was one of the coordinators that they had a few years ago that got poached. But outside of that, there's a million guys who I'll address you directly since you're right here. There's a million guys out there who, given the tools, like if the organization lets them operate and teach, without interference, that they can do a fantastic job. So
I do think I saw in a tweet too today that Ellie has his own hitting coach.
And I hope, for their sake, I hope that they coordinate with the Reds so that when he gets back gets back to Goodyear, that they can continue and without so it's seamless. You're still hearing the same things from his private guide to that. And that's
right. That makes sense.
And they confirmed that. And they confirmed Ellie's going to be a shortstop too.
Yeah, exactly. And he needs to be the shortstop. He's the best shortstop on the team. He's the best defensive player on the team.
Yeah, they said that too, that he was not moving from shortstop.
And that, I think that was, people look at, especially like O'Neal Cruz, who's another crazy tall, lanky shortstop for the Pirates, and they moved him to the outfield. Like, oh, Ellie needs to go to the outfield. Davy Cruz was a terrible shortstop. You look at every metric. What's that? Yeah, but that was because San Diego had 75 shortstops.
outside of errors, which if you're counting errors for a defense, for how good or bad the player is, then you're the same guy who's quoting pitching wins and batting average to measure how good a player is. There's so many different ways to measure someone's ability on defense. 29 errors isn't ideal, but he also made 100 more plays than most other shortstops can get to because he's so fast, and being that damn tall, he can, he's got that just extra range that, so anyone talking that he needs to go to the outfield, no. He's the best shortstop, one of the best shortstops in the I missed that. Okay. Do I admit, I don't know what the V word is, Paul. He's not going to be a coach. I'd love to see him. If he had the interest to be a hitting coach, I think he'd do a fantastic job. I don't think he's got the interest. I think he's going to become an astronaut or something. He's so out there. And unfortunately,
I think he needs to be a media personality.
He's
100%.
He's got the intelligence and he's got the charisma that he can do anything. I mean, right now he's going to college to learn Spanish as a retired. Yeah. I mean, he was doing that so he could communicate better with the Latin American players that Barry Larkin did. Like, that's the sign of a true captain, a true leader. But he's like Ferris Bueller. Like, when they ask, what's he going to be? Like, he's going to be exactly. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. I don't know if that's going to be in baseball, but you'd reach out, I guess. But the guy just retired too. Give him a little time to travel.
So Gabi, what are your thoughts on what the Reds need to do this offseason? Like, power hitting bats and more pitching. I mean, I don't think they're never going to do everything that we want them to do. Yeah. But they have one big thing. And one thing I'll put this way. I think that now that we got the manager, it's maybe not as big of an issue, but still would help if we got a veteran leader. Because I remember back in 2010 when Votto and Jay Bruce, all of them were younger players. They got Scott Rowland, and Scott Rowland really helped them develop into becoming professionals and a championship baseball team. Now, we didn't win anything. We still went to playoff series, but I'm not going to bring that up. But we got to the playoffs. Do you think this team needs that, even with Terry Francona as their manager?
Yeah, I always think that it's nice to have a veteran in the clubhouse, a voice for some of those younger guys, because when you look around in there, you don't realize how young some of these guys really are. You're like, they're professional baseball players. They're like, in their mid-20s, right? And then you're like, no, they're young, and they're 21, they're 22. They're, they need someone to.
That was a long time ago for us.
Feels like it was for me too, to follow and to look up to. So, I definitely agree with you in that. I thought that the pitching to start when I first started here was good. Yep. They were great. And then, similar to the Bengals, injuries just piled up. I mean, I remember doing a graphic on one of our sports wraps, and I couldn't even fit all the injuries on it. There were so many. And it's like, how do you, again, with consistency, how do you have consistency when you're constantly bringing guys up and constantly changing the lineup and changing the pitching rotation? So I think that if they could make some big signings, and I think Francona is going to want that. I think that that's something that, like we kind of talked about, that had to have happened in conversations before he took this job. Yeah.
Well, and it just came, news just broke down today. Julian Aguilar, who's a rookie that pitched a handful of starts and looked like he's got a future in the majors at some role. Ended up having Tommy John surgery, and he's going to be out for all 2025. So that's and that's it's we say it's just for us, but go look year after year. Go look at the Dodgers every year they hit the play. There's a reason the Dodgers win 100 games, 95 games every year, win their division, but have one title. They get hit every year by injuries of the pitching staff. So it's frustrating. It's not just us, but it's the game of general.
Yeah. So one thing I've said this, like you talked about the injuries, and Lodolo is one that always comes to mind because I think he could be a Cy Young Award winner if he could ever freaking stay healthy. And some people say, oh, we should not count on him. Which I'm not saying you count on him, but that's where I'm like, you got to get a veteran guy who could be your swing guy because he's probably going to get hurt. He's probably not going to pitch every year or every game, I put this right. Every start that he's scheduled for. That's where I think one of the things that the Reds need to get, which they had one if they resign him. They retain Martinez, but I'd still like to get another one though, because of the fact that guy's probably not going to make every start. You're going to have injuries. Those are the kind of guys you need. That's another veteran guy that they need just in the pitching staff. And I think Frankie Martinez was good for this team. Excuse me, Nick Martinez. You were thinking Frankie Montas. I get it right. Frankie Montas. Yeah, Frankie Montas, I think, was good for the being a veteran leader in the pitching staff, the young pitching staff. I still think they need that again this next year.
I think it's just I don't know so much of the leader. I think Hunter Green, even though he's still relatively young, he's going into his 4th season. I think he's going to take on the mantle of being the leader. He's a bulldog. He's going to go out there and give you everything he has, and so close to finishing with enough innings to qualify for any of the rate stats and everything. But I think he's going to be that guy. So I'm not as worried about having a veteran for that presence. I just think you need at least another guy that you can count on for 150, 170 innings. Whether that's going out and Cardinals are supposedly looking on Sonny Gray. There's a million guys, whether a trade or free agent. I mean, it's early. You know, we're still in the division series in the playoffs right now. But yeah, they need a veteran arm that can be 150 innings. And I think I would get a couple arms and a swing guy if Nick Martinez does. Exactly. I mean, the Reds have plenty of guys with potential, and they've got some guys that have shown it at the major league level. It's just having those guys that you can count on for 30 starts, 150 innings. Outside of Green, you don't have that right now, unfortunately. Abbott has gotten injured last 2 years. Lodolo's gotten injured every year since he got drafted.
Yeah.
Graham Ashcraft, I haven't heard anything from him. I know he avoided having Tommy John surgery, but
he'll be on the show tomorrow. You can hear from him.
Fantastic.
Hey, if there was one good thing, that a little silver lining, at least some of the younger guys, got the chance to come up and show what they've got. Rhett Lauder, Aguiar, like we said. And I do think that there's a promising future. I mean, their farm system is ranked. They have so many top prospects. So I do think that that's a big thing. But yes, I agree with you guys that they need a few guys that they get in the offseason that are going to be big.
And for me, the issue is, I think Rhett Lauder is the guy that he showed to be in a handful of stats. I mean, he was fantastic, and he wasn't even dominant. He's got the ability to be dominant, and he hadn't even and that wasn't even what he showed at some point.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be Skeens, but I think Paul Skeens is going to be the best pitcher in baseball starting next year. It's just having guys not just hope and prayers, or this guy showed this for a handful of starts, or Connor Phillips looked like he finally gets control down in AAA and is now. I mean, they're actually starting Arizona Fall League today, and he's pitching game 1. You need to have guys that you can count on and not guys that you're hoping on if you legitimately want to win the division, get in the playoffs, instead of just hopefully hang around 500 and maybe get a wild card spot at the end, which is, I think, what their problem has been for so many years. Is they want to linger around contention to keep the team relevant as opposed to trying to win. And I think hiring Francona is the first sign that they want to win.
100%.
Now, it's the difference between wanting to win and trying to win. We'll see. We've got 4 months until pitchers and catchers report, so we'll see.
One thing that was interesting that Francona said the other day is I think Joe asked him this. He's like, is your plan to win championships here? And he goes, and I won't say he danced around it, but he was like, he was pretty smart about it, saying, we're going to bring championships here. Because Bob Castellini said it when he first bought the team, and hasn't happened yet. But he said that's the goal. But, he's not going to say, yeah, it's going to happen. He says, he has no idea. He's got to get to know the players and everything like that. And to me, just the way he answers questions is smarter than, well, we got to play better, guys, and, just got to hustle, and, I'm going to do my due, Bill. And I'll be happy I don't have to hear that anymore, to be honest. Holmes has got a question for both you guys and me. He says, you guys, sorry, here you go. The Reds are the top team for Sonny Gray. I like Sonny Gray.
But I mean, we're talking a trade here. It's not free agent. It's not, I mean, they'll probably take, because he's a veteran. I don't think he has 10-5 rights, full no trade clause, but they'll take him into consideration. But he's got a backloaded contract, so there's a lot of financials and a lot to be worked out. So even if he wants to come to the Reds, even if the Reds want him, you got to work out compensation, whether they're going to eat salary and they're going to add a player for the Reds to eat salary, or the Reds send a player for them to eat more salary. There's a lot. It's not even worth worrying about at this point while playoffs is still going on.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we have no idea about in that sense. Yeah. But I have seen his name mentioned a lot. So
yeah, I mean, and he's a guy, like, he's exactly what I was talking about, a guy that you can count on for 150 innings. He always has injuries that pop up that, that'll cost him a few games here or there, but I'm more comfortable with that guy than I am someone who might have, again, Connor Phillips might be a dynamite pitcher, but I have zero faith that he's going to. Exactly. I have zero faith that he's going to do anything next year. Don't count on him. If you have to use him because of everyone else gets hurt, cool, fine. But you shouldn't be relying on these guys. And that's what the Reds have kind of where they failed in the last few years. Guys that should be last resorts are a lot higher up the hierarchy than they should be, or they hype them up so that, that this guy, we don't need to make a trade because we've got this guy coming back from injury. No, go out and get the guys. And if guys get injured, There's only so much you can do, but you need to have a solid team out there on opening day. And so you're not hoping for guys to break out.
Exactly. Now, just to let you guys know, we are live down here at the Moerlein Lager House. We're down here every Tuesday from 6 to 8. The happy hour goes from 3 o'clock all the way to 9 o'clock. You can't beat that. $5 beers, $2 off appetizers. So if you're in the area, come on down and join us. We got a ruckus crowd here. Hey, Neil, want to come on down? So we're going to have you stay there. We'll have all four of us on it. You and me might have to share a mic, though. Because we're so we're going to talk some Bearcats here. We got Neil Meyer from Rivals.com, Bearcat Blitz, and I don't know, all kinds of other stuff. You're on it. Yeah, he's up from the west. Of course, he's from the west side. All the best guys are from the west side. All right, west side. All right. So, Neil, what's your thoughts with the news of the Bearcats basketball team today?
Yeah. So overall, there's a lot of positive things to talk about the basketball team. Obviously, you bring in the additions of Dylan Mitchell, Connor Hickman, and then you bring in Arrington Page as well out of the portal. You bring in a top 50 prospect in Tyler Betsy, who is as advertised. After watching practice today, he can really shoot the ball. He's a big 6'7" wing player. But overall, you have to be happy with what you heard from guys like Dan Skillings and Connor Hickman about how Dan Skillings opened up about how he elected to stay at Cincinnati despite a couple other people. He kind of name dropped a couple people saying that he bets that they got offered more money to leave Cincinnati.
They all stayed because Jizzle stayed.
They all came back, and they really have a lot of faith and confidence in what Coach Wes Miller is doing. So overall, that's a great sight to hear on the positive side. But then on the negative side, Wes Miller announced Tyler McKinley will miss his freshman season after tearing his ACL early in practice this year. So that's a devastating blow. But overall, there's still a lot of great news surrounding the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball program. So
with and I'll ask you this, both of you guys, with the hurricane coming toward Florida and Cincinnati's supposed to play Central Florida, I doubt they're going to play it, to be honest. What does that mean? Like, is there a chance that, what would you do? I'll put it this way. Could you move it to Cincinnati? Could you move it somewhere else? Or you just reschedule? What's your thoughts on and what are they waiting on?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure what they're waiting on because I know a lot of other UCF events athletic events specifically have gotten moved. So I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's a TV thing. They have so much to do with it. I don't know why they wouldn't just move it here. That seems like the most reasonable thing would be for UCF to travel here. But then again, it has to do with like conference scheduling and television networks and all that stuff. I can't see a world where they play at UCF on Saturday. So yeah, either move it here. I don't know if there's like a neutral site that they could move it to, but I wouldn't be surprised if they moved it to Cincinnati. I don't know if you have any insider info on that.
Yeah, so actually we were told earlier that they anticipate as of right now, they're preparing as if they're going to Orlando to play. So overall,
really? There's a Cat 5 hurricane coming.
They said they're anticipating as of right now. They said it sounds like there would be a more definite answer after the hurricane comes through to kind of assess the damage. But overall, you would think they would kind of maybe come out and say, hey, this is going to happen. Let's try to move it to Nippert and move this game to Nippert this season, which, you make that sense because then you just flop it to next season where UCF will get the home game next year.
Just trade home games.
But I think overall logical thinking, then you have to staff it. Then you have to go through all that, and then that goes into
all right. That's crazy.
The neutral sites as well.
That's crazy when they used to say you can't do the MLB playoffs. You gotta decide home field advantage by the All-Star game because you can't figure out how to get people staffed. That's bullcrap. You can figure it out. The way to figure it out is do it now.
I definitely think they should have kind of looked at it and said, hey, let's do this now. But since it's at UCF, it's kind of more up to UCF in the Big 12 compared to Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati's just there in the conversation. But it sounds like from the initial conversations that they anticipate the conversations to go and continue into Thursday. But it's going to be interesting. I know me personally, my flight got canceled to Orlando, obviously, and my boss rescheduled me for Friday. So I'm still planning to go down and cover the game if it is to be played. So overall, me personally, I don't see it being played. I really don't.
Now, I've never actually been to the bounce house, but for everyone who has, like, they're concerned about the place falling down because it's very shoddy and slapped together stadium. There's a reason it's called the bounce house because it literally bounces. Yeah, exactly. Like that. Are you concerned about the stadium falling down? Maybe not 1 year in it, but between time landfall hits and before game time.
I'm not too worried about the stadium getting hurt in the hurricane. Obviously, what I am worried about is obviously I've been to UCF. I covered there in 2022 when Cincinnati went. But I think the biggest thing is you look at where the stadium is at UCF. They have their soccer field right outside. They have their baseball field right outside. And then they have giant open land for their football practice facility. And more than likely, they're saying at least 9 inches of rain. More than likely, that stadium, every facility will be flooded. So it's going to be really interesting.
Netron has a question. Why do you think UCF picks UC as their main rival?
One reason, the pick six, Dylan Gabriel. I think that's the reason right there. Ever since then, it has been a true rivalry, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's usually the nip at night game, but obviously the rivalry's kind of been back and forth. With the last 2 seasons, it's been lopsided. So overall, I think that's the rivalry. And then the move to the Big 12, I didn't really think the rivalry is there with West Virginia. But right now, I think it's just a more historic rivalry with UCF.
I think part of this, neither team really has any traditional rival that they really have a play with. I mean, Miami is technically UC's rival, but nobody alumni cares. But I don't think any of the players really care about beating Miami outside of not wanting to lose the little brother who's in the MAC. And then again, who's UCF going to pick? They're not on the stage as Miami as
Florida, but Florida just beat them by 15.
Yeah, exactly. Florida SEC school isn't going to want little brother to be their rival. Florida State, and then USF, which is down a level. Like neither team has a rival, at least a conference rival at this point. So I think that's part of it.
So Gabby, have you gotten to enjoy a night game at Nippert, the Nip at Night? Have you got to enjoy that yet?
No, I haven't. No. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is one of the best experiences in college football, I think. And I would love to hear what your thought is after you get to experience, because it is, because you've seen Nippert, obviously. It's right in the heart of campus. And I think it's one of the most unique college football stadiums, because there's not many stadiums that are in the middle of campus, and they've been playing football there for 100 years.
No, I really enjoyed my few trips to the NIP that I've had. I love like the field level seats that they have, like the little like suites.
Yeah, the suites on the field.
Yeah, those are awesome. I feel like people love those. But I've had a really great time, and I think both the games that I've went to were like noon starts. So and of course, like the students want to stay for like a half, and then they're like, all right, let's go party. So the student section usually thins out at halftime, but no, I'm excited for a night game. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, nip at night. It's definitely going to happen this season. Now it's going to come down to it. Like you only have 3 home games left after the Arizona State. And let's be honest, they ended last season with the night game. Would not be surprised to see it this year, or would not be surprised to see it at West Virginia be the night game.
Is West Virginia the 100th anniversary game? Okay, I think that's going to be when the game is, because that's the most rival of a rival that's going to be there. And then with it being the 100th anniversary of being named Nipper Stadium, to me that makes sense. Again, noon kickoffs are the worst, especially if you have kids that are in all kinds of stuff.
That's because you have kids, you can't make it to the game.
Mistakes were made, damn it.
As a media worker, you love the 12 kickoffs because then you're done by 7 o'clock. But the 12 p.m. kickoffs, you would rather have a later afternoon kickoff. If you're a fan, you would rather have a later afternoon kickoff. But as a media worker, you would rather have that 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. kickoff.
I care about me. I care about getting down there to drink.
It's all about Joe, okay?
Whereas literally I'm running in at kickoff time trying to find my seats.
Hey, I'm just glad we didn't die like we almost died last year at the very first game.
That was miserable.
It was so hot last year, the first game. Oh, my God.
I got sick. We had to spend the second half
in the air conditioning.
In the air conditioning because I was about to pass out. I think I had something so I was sick for the next week. But my God, that was the worst I felt. Then I had to walk all the way to Eden to my car.
It was not good at all. So, all right, Gabby. So, with the way that Stat has, I don't want to say turned the season around, but the way they showed out at Texas Tech, do you think, in your opinion, that has saved his job for this year?
Oh, 100%. I mean, after the Pitt game, things were looking bleak in that press conference room. We were like, oh, okay, this, and I obviously wasn't here last season, but everyone was like, here we go again, a good start, and then a few games in, and then they start losing, and people were, calling for Scott's head after that, but they played amazing against Texas Tech, obviously. Yeah, with all of their injuries, they hung in there in an insane atmosphere in Lubbock. But I do think they need to continue winning Big 12 games, or else, people are probably going to be out with the pitchforks again for Scott.
So I'll ask you. I think you weren't here last week. I didn't get to ask you, Neil. I think you were just talking about it. The targeting, not targeting call.
It was 100% targeting.
It was 100% targeting.
100%.
Okay, so
But
put it this way: even if it's not targeting, it's at least a late hit, or you don't get a 10-second runoff of a flag that you threw.
Which it's a great thing you bring this up, because Scott Satterfield even alluded to it in his press conference today. Was like, hey, you threw this flag,
right?
But then yet we get punished for a 10-second runoff when you threw the flag, and then instead of just getting to the ball and then going from there, instead we lose 13 seconds off of it, and then what happens? But overall, Scott Satterfield said, was very adamant that there needs to be a change to that rule, where if you throw that flag, there needs to be a change to it. And he said he wants it to be implemented. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be something. Or don't punish us because you threw a flag and you decided to, and if we still lose 10 seconds, that's a dumb rule. I understand it's a rule, but that's a dumb rule. Right.
And the problem is, if you throw a flag for targeting, it should automatically be a personal foul. If it's targeting, they review it to see if they should be ejected, and you rule that it's not targeting. Okay, fine. There's not the additional punishment. But there's no way that wasn't a personal foul because it was a late hit. Never mind. Okay, you didn't think he was going, he aimed for his head and neck in there, which he truly did, and he lowered the crown of his helmet. But at the very least, it should have been just a 15-yard penalty, and then you don't have the 10-second runoff for throwing an inadvertent penalty flag. I don't think I'm not naive enough to think that there aren't officials on the take. Okay, Tim Donaghy proved it in the NBA. I'm not saying that's the cause here, but
breaking news: Joe is saying the NCAA is fixed. Just saying, Joe Schmo, NCAA is fixed. You heard it here first.
Would not
live on Strawberry Ice.
Would not be the first time. All the point shaving in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. But what better way to shave points than for some bullshit like that? You throw a flag because you have to throw a flag there anyway. And only throw it for targeting, not for the personal foul. And then, no, it wasn't.
It's got to be something, though. You throw a damn flag. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be something.
And I'll chime in on this, too. So, Rivals, we had a photographer on site for that game. Yeah. He sent us the picture since we didn't make the trip. The last picture in the Dropbox, Brendan Sorsby is literally sitting on the ground. The defender is still yet to make his move towards Sorsby.
Oh, my God.
It is a clear launch of the head and crown. So,
we've been
overall,
doing a lot talking here. Gabi, what's your thoughts? Was it targeting? Was it not? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I was not covering the game.
Then it was targeting.
I was not on that game that night, so I'll be honest. I didn't watch. But I believe you guys for sure.
We always tell the truth.
I mean, you get honor and dignity from the East Side, not just pure over the top fandom. So it's. When I say it,
that's very debatable. Anyway, so yeah, it was frustrating. But even with that, they still put him in position with the targeting, not targeting, with all the injuries. They still put him in position to kick the field goal and tie the game. And we know what happens. And unfortunately, it happened again. The same thing in the Bengals game, but that's near here nor there.
There's a lot of parallels between the Bearcats and the Bengals. You have really good, high functioning quarterbacks and the offenses that are running really, really well, and the defense that just can't catch cold.
Yes, it's very eerie and irritating all at the same time. Yes. So Neil, I haven't got to ask you this. I know you covered the Bearcats, but I know you watched the Bengals too. How do we fix the defense? Go.
First off, you have to get a defensive line that can stop a run.
That would help.
They actually did. You hold Derrick Henry to 30 yards, his lowest all season, and then you still find a way to let others affect you. When
Right.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, you contain them. That's the whole Ravens offense, essentially. So you find a way to stop them, but overall, just explosive plays and missed tackling. The secondary play from Cincinnati has been atrocious this season. Until they can fix the secondary, teams are going to continue to unload and go for 35, 40 points a game.
That's my question is how? Because I don't think right now, I love all the players and everything, but they're not that good.
I'll make the first claim, the bold statement, put Jordan Battle at your starting safety. Make that transition. Let it play the younger guys. Geno Stone has not lived up to expectations.
Absolutely
for the first
not.
5 weeks.
Here's 8 snaps of Jordan Battle last week against the Baltimore Ravens. PFF, his total score was a 27.2, which is bad. 55 in run defense, so it wasn't as ass. Tackling was 27.4. Pass rush, I guess he rushed the pass. I guess he blitzed once, and coverage grade of 30. So he was terrible, but Geno Stone played a lot more snaps and was almost as terrible. I'd rather see the young guys play. And again, there's at least projection with those guys. Battle played great last year with zero help next to him. This isn't apparently with Stone where you're just being covered up because the other guy was so good. So at least you can project going forward that he's got younger legs than Von Bell. I mean, he's more of a strong safety Von Bell type replacement than Geno Stone, because Geno Stone's your cover guy. So yeah, starting him, and I would play more Deshaun Anthony. I mean, again, he's just a kid. I mean, he had a whole one snap the other day, but just mix the young guys in because the vets aren't doing it. And it was, I think, a dime package or something like that, free safety look. But
so how do you go from being in the game at the end of the Chiefs game to one snap?
It's packages. They had it was a three safety look, and it was not quite prevent defense, not quite Hail Mary defense, but he's a ball hawk safety corner a hybrid, so that's why he was out. Well, right, but also the Ravens are a run team. That's why the Ravens didn't run for a whole lot. Bengals committed 8 guys to the line, and that's why Lamar had 8 seconds to stiff arm Sam Hubbard twice, and he threw the ball all over the yard. And outside of the 150-yard run there for the last actual snap, Ravens had nowhere to go because it wasn't so much the players played great, but there was good. There was no room. They blocked. They had it played, so they threw it all over the damn yard.
All right, so we got that all fixed, right? You confident we got it fixed? Actually, we should just put us in the front office, and I think we'll take care of it. All right, so Gabi, back to you again. Which, by the way, give it up for Gabi. She's showing up here to hang out with us dumbasses for 2 hours on her day off. So I want to give it up to her. And by the way, if you guys are eating and drinking and enjoying food here, make sure you guys tip your wait staff. All right, please make sure you guys tip the wait staff. Especially Meg. Meg is awesome. So make sure you guys tip her. She's doing a great job. So definitely keep them in mind. Where do we go from here? We've discussed with the Reds, Bengals. We're going to talk some UC basketball here. We talked a little bit about it. What do you have?
Solving world peace in the Middle East.
No, I don't. We could. That would be. We'd be talking till next year about that. Well, let's. But Neil, let's talk some UC basketball here. With them entering the Big 12, this is the first time I've been really excited about the Bearcat basketball program because I was afraid. You said it earlier when you got on here. I was afraid guys are going to leave, and I really think Jizzle staying made a statement that he's staying. That guy got a lot of other guys to stay and a lot of guys to commit to coming here. How good do you think? I think this team could be a Sweet 16 team. I'll put that out here. It's my early bold prediction. That's where I think they could be. Where are you at on how far this team can go and how good they can be?
Yeah, so overall, I think this team is definitely capable of being top 4 within the Big 12. So overall, they're capable of being top 4 in the Big 12. Obviously, the biggest addition was Dylan Mitchell. He's played in the Big 12 for the last 2 seasons, and you can do so many different things with him there in the front court. Obviously, you lose Tyler McKinley due to the injury, so the depth at the front court's taking a hit. But when you look in the Big 12, how many teams actually have a natural big right now? Only 3. So you look at Kansas, Baylor, maybe one other team have a natural big. So Cincinnati now has the ability to where they can play 4 wings and 1 big, or even go small ball and find ways to be effective. As Dylan Mitchell is a terrific post player, So overall, this
rim
is a very good opportunity for Cincinnati. Obviously, preseason rankings come out next week. It's a great chance that Cincinnati is probably top 25 next week.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, if everything goes well and the potential is hit and they exceed the expectations of a top 4 finish in the Big 12, they make a deep tournament run in the conference tournament in March, there's a good chance that this team could go into March Madness for the first time since 2018 and surprise a lot of people with a second weekend, a Sweet 16. There's a lot of potential there for Cincinnati to make a deep run this year.
So how is I know the defense is going to be there. How is the shooting outside? You think like Lukosius, I think is going to have a more consistent year this year than he did last year because one, he's not, hopefully, knock on wood, not going to get hit by a car. Yeah, not going to play Frogger. So, but he stepped up big time last year. I'm really looking for a more consistent year out of him, Skillings. Like how big of a jump do you think these guys will make?
I really think it's going to be a bigger jump because obviously Simas Lukosius' last 10 games, he finished those 10 games shooting 45% from behind the arc. You look at statistically and see 45% from 3 over 10 games, it's unheard of. So overall, I think he's bound for big jumps this year, but the biggest thing is Dan Skilling said it today that he feels like he's really developed a good jump shot and that this has been the biggest offseason for him throughout his college career. So developing those 2 jump shots from them, improving the outside game, the 3 ball is not going to be a problem for Cincinnati. We saw that last year. It's not going to be a problem this year. You return CJ Frederick, who's your shooting specialist. Then you have Simas Lukosius. Dan Skillings develops the jumper. Jizzle James, Day Thomas as well. Connor Hickman from Bradley as well. I mean, apparently he caught an absolute body in practice the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet, but
I heard that he threw one down on Rayvon Griffith.
Threw one down on Rayvon the other day. 45-inch vertical. As a 6'2" point guard, so
as 6'2" white guy with a comb over is what he said.
That's what I used to do.
So overall, yeah, you bring in him from Bradley. He averaged 15 points a game,
45 inch, not 45 centimeter.
And then he shot 40% from 3 last year. So overall, the 3-point shooting for Cincinnati should not be a problem this year.
Yeah, I mean, what wins in March?
3-point shooting,
guard play, exactly. I mean, that's why UConn is so good.
That's why UConn is so good because they have terrific guards.
One for their entire, like, even going back to Jim Herrick or Jim Calhoun. Wow, guard play, Kemba Walker, Rip Hamilton, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bearcats have guard play. They've got guys on all 3 levels. I mean, you have the enforcer under the basket with,
and they're guards that will willingly pick you up and make you go 94 feet.
Exactly.
They have the speed, they have the athleticism, they have the ability to go out and score. But yes, they push the tempo, but they might push the tempo and then they're going to pick you up and go 94 feet with you on the defensive end. Yeah. And not many teams have that in college basketball right now.
Not many guys have the speed to be able to pick up Day Thomas 94 feet. And the scariest thing I think I've seen is Jizzle James going downhill. When he finds a little lane, he runs to the basket the same way his dad ran to the goal line with the ball in his hands. Absolutely fearless, and he's got the size and strength for someone who's shorter. He's not a small guy. I don't know what his weight's listed at. But
he's put on a good amount of muscle this offseason.
He looks like a middle linebacker. He looked like a middle linebacker last year, and that was still with some freshman baby fat. Imagine a year in UC's all the way back to Mickey Marotti. UC's had really great strength and conditioning guys. I'm excited to sell. Again, who do you think leads the team in scoring? I kind of tipped my answer there with Dan Skillings, but do you think him? Do you think Simas?
I really think it could be a multiple different options. I mean, Jizzle James, if he finishes the way that he finished last season, he could potentially be that leading scorer. Dan Skillings could be it. It could be Simas. It could be Dylan Mitchell. You never know. They have so many options there that it could be a plethora of guys that could lead this team in scoring this year.
I think it's going to be Simas, just the way he finished. But Jizzle, if he gets more of a consistent outside shot, that's where I think that I haven't seen it. I have no idea. You've seen it. How has that developed for him?
Yeah, I think that will be the biggest thing for Jizzle James. Obviously, outside of his size, his speed, and his athleticism and ability to get downhill. But when he was on last year from behind the arc, he was on. He made big shot after big shot when Cincinnati needed it in the conference tournament as well. And throughout the NIT, he played the best ball of his career during the NIT run. But if Jizzle James can develop that outside shot to pair alongside Day Thomas and Connor Hickman, it's going to be electric. But also talking about the guard play, Cincinnati hasn't had a backcourt duo with a 40-inch vert from everybody maybe since the early 2000s.
You're getting me excited. You're getting me very excited here. So, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Do you have a question here?
Oh, it was just, yeah, there's a possibility of 6 guys that you could honestly and have a logical explanation of who's going to lead the team in scoring. And I mean, it could be 10 guys, from night to night, it could be up to 7, 8 guys. And you figure Aronson Page maybe has a hot night, just under the basket, or, holy crap, Space
Aziz Bandego.
Yeah, Aziz,
See, that's the thing. I was telling Brad, I was like, I cannot remember who's on the team from last year to this year until they start playing.
Bandego looks absolutely yoked. Seeing the pictures of him, and like that's a scary prospect for someone who was already a big, big presence under the defensively, and it looks like he put on 30 pounds of muscle.
So and the biggest thing on Aziz Bandego, as you mentioned, he now gets a full offseason where he doesn't have to worry about a transfer waiver, everything going on outside of that court case. So every focus has been on ball, getting in the weight room. And Jeff, as you guys mentioned, he looks like he's put on 30 pounds. Like he has every bit of 7 foot, 280, 285.
He got that monster factory.
Yeah.
So, all right, I remember I was going to ask you. So, I know we probably won't have the answer till the season starts, but right now, Wes Miller, we have a 2-point game. Wes Miller has to make a decision of who's taking the shot. Is it Seamoss, Jizzle, Day? Where are you at? Where do you think?
I'm still sticking with Seamoss.
Seamoss, yeah,
he knocked down 5 of them last year, and I'm still sticking with Seamoss.
I'm totally with you on that. I think it's Seamoss until proven otherwise. To be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm the same answer there. Obviously, Seamoss did it time and time again last season, and is only bound for bigger strides this year. So overall, if they can find ways to get those other people to be able to knock down some clutch time shots, because everybody knows Seamoss Lukosius is probably going to be the guy with the ball in his hands on the last drive. Everyone kind of knows that. But if Cincinnati can find a way to get some other production there and get those guys to step in and knock down some of those shots, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with on the offensive side.
Yeah, and they're playing in the best basketball conference. I mean, there are 4 teams that legitimately could be – I mean, they've got 4 teams that could be number 1 seeds. And, with Kansas, with obviously Houston, I mean, Kelvin Sampson's built just an absolute dynamite juggernaut down there in Houston. I don't that bothers me. I don't like Houston. I don't like Kelvin Sampson, and it really irritates the hell out of me. But I think there's going to be a team that finishes 8th in the conference that's going to make it to the second weekend in March. I absolutely 100% believe that. I know John Rothstein had UC at 21, I think, in his preseason thing. I think that's probably a good start, but I think UC has maybe top 10 potential, seeing how Dylan Mitchell fits in, seeing how Connor Hickman can assimilate with the rest of the guys. The fact that they brought back so much scoring, I think, is huge early in the season to get the other pieces kind of mixed in. You don't have to rely on Tyler Betsy. Obviously, unfortunately, you can't rely on Tyler McKinley, but
Rayvon Griffith as well in there.
Is he still part of the franchise? Or I know he's on the team, but I mean, there was all this talk about him, and then he was literally the last guy at the end of the bench, and then they ended up redshirting him.
Well, they redshirted him last year because they were trying to tweak some things, and then they did that this offseason, and Wes Miller actually said he led the team in rebounding on both sides of the ball this offseason.
I did see that.
I still think he is.
Because I read you on X, I was reading your quotes from the presser.
But yeah, no, Rayvon Griffith is definitely still in the plans. It's going to make a big impact for Cincinnati this year.
Good. And they're just loaded with
wing players.
Wings with 3, guys that can guard 2, 3, 4, and guys that can score, from the wing. So it's going to be a fun season. Hopefully they can beat the bastards from Norwood. But
yeah, the Ohio State charity next weekend. Yep.
So.
Yeah, I just found out about that. Brad was telling me about that. That's a charity game event, right?
Yeah, it's a charity event, and Wes Miller actually said it was something that Jake Diebler and Anthony Grant of Dayton and Ohio State kind of were talking. Anthony Grant played Ohio State last year in this scrimmage for it was mental health awareness.
Okay.
So Jake Diebler and Anthony Grant sat down, and I guess Jake Diebler was the one who really tried to get the plan. The original plan was obviously NCAA. You can't have these scrimmages to the public.
Right.
In the offseason.
But now it's charity.
But now that it's charity, they can do it. But the original plan was for all 4 teams. From what it sounded like today, the original plan was all 4 teams to come to Fifth Third Arena. Xavier played Dayton. Ooh. Cincinnati plays
Ohio State.
Ohio State. but it was a conference call that was set up by Jake Diebler. He was the one who got everyone there, but it sounds like it's going to be like a tradition going forward to really kind of focus and turn heads and really kind of get that focus back out there for the mental health awareness.
And I think the tickets are like $20, aren't they? They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're $20. It's going to be treated like an actual college basketball game, so it's going to be full on up and down. So it's going to be a great night at Fifth Third next Friday.
What's the date of that again? Do you know, offhand?
It's next Friday, the 19th or the 18th. The 18th next Friday. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I got Brad's on it right there. So just listen to me. October 18th, UC's playing Ohio State. All right, we need to go. Not you, him. I thought just have a conversation with my dad. We'll make sure we go. All right. So Gabi, I want to give you the mic here, and so tomorrow night you guys have your Bengals Now show at Newport on the Levee. Tell the people more about it and what you guys have at this, and what time should they get there?
Yeah, first of all, I'm going to say, once this UC basketball season starts, I promise I'll start on my homework and I can contribute a little more. We're all Bengals right now. So as the flagship station of the Cincinnati Bengals, Fox 19 has a live show every week right across the river at Newport on the Levee. It's called Bengals Now. It starts at 6. People usually start showing up between 5:30, 5:45. And it's a lot of fun. We have Orlando Brown and Cam Taylor-Britt. They come every other week. Sometimes they bring another player as a guest. We play games with them. People can enter to get autographs from them, pictures from them at no cost. We hand out raffle tickets for free. And then I do an Ask Me Anything segment, which
I got cut off last week, just saying.
I'm not the editor, so you can't blame me. Yeah, you can blame Joe and Jeremy. Always. So we do a little Ask Me Anything segment where you can ask Cam or Orlando any question or their guests any question. And then we also do fun games with them at the end. So we did Pop a Shot last week that got super intense at the end. We did punting one week. We've done like different little games at the end. And it's a really fun time. It's a live show. And then it airs Thursday night and Friday afternoon. So definitely come out. The kids love it. They have so much fun. 6 p.m. Newport on the Levee. Be there.
Yeah, it's in a really cool spot. It's right in the middle.
You can't miss it. You can't miss it.
The big grant where, well, back in the day, that used to be where the AMC ticket theater or ticket office was. Now that's where the stage is there. So it's an awesome time. I recommend if anybody can get out there. Yeah. It's a great time. It's fun. And you can be on TV and you can stand next to Gabi. And if you're tall like me, you can feel like a giant.
Yeah, you'll feel really tall anytime you stand next to me. But the guys have so much fun too. And they're really open. They answer what Joe and Jeremy ask them. And I know that there's going to be a lot of hot questions tomorrow. So it should be a really good time.
I think for the next week, you guys should have for the competition, you guys should bring back some jarts. Ask some lot. You're probably, do you know what jarts are?
No.
Lawn darts? Oh.
No, I've never heard of that.
So basically, imagine a dart that's 18 inches long, and you throw it. Like there were a lot of stabbings.
Okay.
Because it was a metal dart that you threw in the yard that would go up. And
sounds like what we want on Bengals Now.
Add some adult beverages, and a lot of fun and emergency room trips are to be had. So I think that should be brought back. I don't know if anyone still has a jar.
Yeah, that would add a little intensity to the show, you know.
Yeah, I have a funny story about jarts. We're at my aunt and uncle's house forever ago when I was little, and I'm throwing it, and it would get, if you didn't throw it right, it would get stuck in your hand.
Oh my god!
Well, I threw it, and it went up there and goes doink right on my aunt and uncle's roof. My Uncle Darryl was not very happy with me. He was cussing me as he had to walk up on the roof and put tar on the roof. But yeah, it was a very dangerous game.
I think we'll pass from that.
Yeah, I would recommend.
But we do have a surprise tomorrow night coming up because Joe came up with a new game show that's going to replace Who Day, and I don't even know what it is.
Ooh.
Joe's keeping it under wraps until
So is Joe
tomorrow.
going to have the little skinny microphone and hey guys, welcome to
a suit? Well, Joe still has to wear Cam Taylor-Britt's overalls.
Guys, now
we're still waiting for that.
So yes, for everybody who doesn't know the bet, tell everybody what the bet is.
So Cam showed up to one of the home games in Bengals overalls without a shirt on, and he comes to our show the next Wednesday. And I said to Joe, you should wear those, and I said, I bet that you won't wear them. And Joe and we have a lot of bets going on right now.
Do we have a score on who's winning?
Well, they haven't cashed in yet. One of them is with USC and Maryland playing in a few weeks. Joe says that the Terps will keep it within a touchdown. I said no chance.
How weird is it that you being a USC alum that you're now playing conference games against the team from College Park, Maryland?
Yeah,
like
down the road,
or playing Rutgers and Piscataway. That's
it's
your
so
conference
weird.
opponent.
Yeah, it's really weird, and Joe and Jeremy give me a really hard time about it. And they were really nice about the loss this past weekend, which I appreciated.
For now.
But Joe made a deal with Cam that if Cam gets a pick six, Joe will wear the overalls without a shirt. So we're all hoping for a pick six from Cam.
We are all counting on you. Okay, we need a pick six, and I am definitely coming to that show and making fun of Joe.
And Joe said he was like, I'm going to be up all night doing push-ups the night before. So we're all hoping for that. But no, it's a really, really fun show, and the guys have been great. All of their guests have been great. So definitely, if you're around, bring the kids. The kids always get so much camera time.
Yes,
they love it. They have fun. They get to compete with these guys, and it's a really fun time. I love it.
So I'm waiting for I see the highlights of the cornhole tournament. Are you going to bring that back?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing this week. I don't even find out until I get there.
She just shows up and like, here, Gabby, do this.
Yeah. Usually I'm out doing a high school shoot before. So I show up and I'm like, okay, we're doing Papa Shot today, or we're doing cornhole. So I don't know what tomorrow is, but like I said, Joe's keeping this new game show under wraps. I have no idea what it is, but I know he's very creative. It's going to be a fun time.
All right, with you being new here to the city, high school football is huge around here.
Oh, yeah.
Is it bigger here? Texas, but you've been in California, Illinois.
Yeah.
You grew up in D.C. Is high school football a bigger thing around here than what you've been used to?
Yeah, and when I was in Southern Illinois, it was a really big thing because it's really all there was in Southern Illinois other than, SIU and SEMO on Saturdays. But everybody showed up to Friday nights. But it is bigger here, and all of the schools in the area. I've had a absolute blast covering Friday Night Lights. And our show, not to brag, but it's been incredible. 20 plus highlights every Friday night.
You guys kill it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. My dad visited this past Friday. He got to sit in on the show, and he was like, I can't believe that you guys do all of that when you get back from games at 9:15, 9:30. So it's a crazy grind, but it's great. It's been a lot of fun covering all the schools and doing that.
I mean, you guys have, a 45-minute highlight shows up?
Half hour
30
show. Minutes.
I mean, it's ridiculous for you guys to get back, and I couldn't even begin to imagine how to cut them all up and then put them all out there. I mean, but the talent in this area, I would put it up against anybody. I mean, I think, and the rivalry and passion, and a lot of it is West Side here. I'm not Catholic, but grew up in or GCL or Elder and St. X and Moore and all these guys. These are generational schools that their grandfathers went there, their fathers went there, and stuff like that. To me, that's something that means something to the city.
Yeah.
And to these people.
Yeah. It does remind me a lot of Baltimore because in Baltimore we had a lot of those all boys, all girls schools that the all boys schools were rivals. So it has been very similar to growing up in Baltimore and going to those games. But I mean, I've also enjoyed the games that I've gone to in Kentucky, and there's a lot of competition there too. So I've really loved all of it so far.
I do have to ask a question because everybody asks it to anybody who comes to Cincinnati, and I think it's such an overrated and cliched question. But how many people have asked you or forced you to try to eat Skyline chili?
It's delicious.
I love Cincinnati chili, but I think it's the most played out. It's like you need to eat chili. It's fine, cool, eat it. But it's weird as hell if you're not from Cincinnati. It's weird as hell.
100%. I had not known that before moving here. I was I had never known that it was such a big deal here, of course. And then I get here and one of Joe's first questions to me, he outed me on air. He was like, she has not had Skyline yet. And I was like, well, no, this was a while ago. I've had it since. But I was like, Joe, I've been here for a week. I just moved from. He wanted it to be my first stop. He's a Skyline truther, as he calls himself. So
See, I
Don't-
like Skyline
don't-
better as a dip. It's got to be better as a dip. That's how I think
Okay.
it's better that way. Like the party dip in that
Yeah.
kind of setting is better than going through.
My dad
Skyline.
loves it every time he comes. No.
So the dip,
What's the dip?
the dip is a base layer, and I know they have it at Gold Side. Do they have it at Skyline too? It's base layer of cream cheese,
Okay.
and then you put the chili on top of it, and then you put the cheese over it,
And
bake
you like
it,
dip a chip
and then you
into
dip
it.
it with like tortilla chips. Oh, it's amazing. Frito scoops, yeah, Frito scoops, even better.
Oh my gosh! I'll admit I don't really eat like fast food like ever, so I don't go to Skyline a lot.
Neither do I. I can't tell by my spell.
I've been a few times since I've been here. I always take my family and friends from out of town. They have to experience it once.
Well, speaking of Skyline, so tomorrow, if I'm correct, between 12 and 12:30, I think they're trying to set the world's record for the most conies eaten at one time.
Oh my gosh!
Something like that. It's so Coney's hot dog.
Pornhub would have the most hot dogs
That
on the internet at the same time.
I'm glad I have the microphone now. So tomorrow between 12 and 12:30, you guys can go and go get a cheese coney, and then you got to post it to Skyline's Instagram. And I tweeted it out. It's got a hashtag something. I don't remember what it is, but they're
Oh
trying
my
to set a
gosh.
world record. So I will be definitely doing that. So what
I probably won't be, but I'm happy
I'm
that
all
you
about.
will.
As you can tell by my skinny body here, I'm all about Skyline.
Yeah, we need
I
the
for-
details.
Yeah, I forget the exact thing here.
The most hot dogs posted to Instagram during a 1 hour period, 11:30 to 12:30.
There you go.
There you go. Let's do it.
What a weird.
What a total Cincinnati thing to do.
The fact that Guinness keeps track of this shit is
It's
the
amazing.
funniest thing. Who cares about how many hot dogs? Like,
You can record the you can record it and then you can put it out there. So who knows if you did it that same day?
right? I love this city. That's all I can say.
It's great. It's great. I love it too.
So all right, some other food stuff here. Since we bring up food, it seems like every newbie we always have to ask that question. And the other one is, have you had graters yet?
Of course.
Amazing. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your go-to there? What's your favorite one so far?
Well, I like the seasonal. The pumpkin is so good. That's been my favorite. I have only been a few times, but that's been my go-to.
You need to try Boldly Bearcat.
Need to try what?
Boldly Bearcat. It's UC's
Okay.
whatever flavor. It's mascarpone cheese.
Oh.
Yep.
I have a favorite
No,
restaurant.
screw Buckeyes.
I have a favorite restaurant here in Cincinnati.
Okay.
I do.
So let me ask, talking to food, what's your favorite Cincinnati specific restaurant?
Soto. Hands
Okay.
down. I could
I-
go there every day of the week.
I've actually never been there. We
Gotta
get
go.
there's I know it's rated as always one of the better cities. Like we're just too lazy to deal with parking and all that stuff downtown. We're like,
I can
we'll
walk
go to Hyde
there,
Park
so
or
that's convenient.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
We'll go to like Hyde Park or
You'll have to
Montgomery.
go. You'll have to go at some point. It's very, very
What?
good.
I'm sorry.
You'll have to go at some point. It's very good.
have you made it to any to the precinct or anything yet?
Yes, I went to precinct.
Did you have the steak burrow?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I
God.
just had. First of all, I don't eat seafood. Fun fact.
You don't have to. Well, you just take the crawdad off.
I
don't
think
eat seafood either.
I think I just had like a good old fillet, and that was amazing. Their food is unreal there. It was really good.
So I'm gonna bring out another West Side thing here. Have you had La Rosa's yet?
No, I have not.
But it started on the West Side. It started.
So
Don't listen to Joe.
so I'll admit, as
What? Oh my God! I'm not giving you the mic now. It's
I'll-
not gross.
okay, I'll admit something. I'm from the East Coast. I'm an Italian. I take my pizza very seriously.
Then do not have the rose.
I like Donato's. Donato's is good. I like Donato's.
The
Yeah.
the roses is just too greasy. It's too sweet, too greasy. It's just not it. I'm a West Sider through and through, but La Rosa's, if I had to eat pizza, I'm not going to La Rosa's. I'm not.
If you're gonna have a chain, and it's not like a fast food chain like Donato's,
Yeah.
but Dewey's.
Okay.
Like it's like they have like I mean, you can get whatever kind of toppings, but a ton of
Okay.
seasonal pizzas. The best is Ryan's Inferno. It's buffalo chicken.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, ranch drizzled on it. Little piece of celery on it. Oh, it is so good. The best. It's expensive. So I dropped $50 for 2 pizzas the other
Wow.
day, but
Yeah.
it is so good.
Yeah, I'm very, very particular about my pizza. Everybody in the sports department makes fun of me because we do pizza on Friday. We do pizza bets every Friday night where we pick a few NFL games, and whoever loses has to buy pizza for the sports department. And I complain about everybody's pizza every time, but I haven't lost yet. So subtle flex, but I haven't lost yet, so I haven't had to buy pizza.
So what we're hearing is we need to go to Gabi for our sports locks of the week. Is what we're hearing.
I just want to say that not this past weekend, but last weekend I went 7 for 7 on my picks. 7 for 7, just saying who was going to win.
Okay.
And we don't put any money, or obviously it's just a.
Do you guys keep
pizza.
tallies in the sports department?
Oh, 100%. And I did not let them forget that I went 7 for 7.
What?
Joe was getting a little frustrated. He was like, "You went 7 for 7, really?" I said, "Yes, I did." So
now, what's the total standings there with Joe, Jeremy? And
I don't know
yourself?
I don't know. Well, everyone's had to buy pizza except for me and Reagan. So we're killing the boys.
Because they don't overthink it. Like, women are more decisive.
Yeah.
Women make better decisions.
Duh. No, so we're
Outside of
we're in the
us,
lead.
Most women make good decisions.
All the guys have had to buy pizza except for us. So yeah, I would say we're definitely doing the best.
So someone has a question here. As someone of Italian descent and as someone from the East Coast, do you recognize Chicago style deep dish?
Do I recognize it or do I like it?
Do you recognize it as, a true, especially like I know New Yorkers, Chicago deep dish is an abomination. I think I'm Cincinnati German. I think any kind of pizza, like there's no wrong style of pizza unless it tastes like crap.
I'm a thin crust
Big old floppy
girly.
Okay.
A thin crust floppy girly. I deep dish is just a lot for me. I have like 2 bites and I'm like, all right, I'm full. But it is good. I know
you have like
that's
3
good.
inches of cheese, and cheese is
It's
the
a
best
lot.
part of pizza to me.
Yeah, it is
I'm
a lot.
I'm all aboard any kind of pizza. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Except when there's the wrong answer, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to offend your West Side sensibility.
He's talking about
Roasted sucks.
I don't want to do the show. Freaking family's trying to take a picture, and I'm on the show. Hey, look, smile. Hey, all right, cool. There she is, my cousin Lauren. All right, so with you living down here at the Banks, and we're just going to turn this into your favorite things in Cincinnati. What's your favorite thing in Cincinnati to do in this area or outside there? Like, have you been to Kings Island yet? Have you got to go to over Kentucky? What's your favorite thing to your go-to thing to go do?
Oh my gosh, you're really putting me on the spot because I work a lot. The toughest part about this job is that I work on the weekends. Yeah. No, this is great. It's tough because I work on weekends and I feel like that's when a lot of people do stuff around. So it's an adjustment for sure, but I honestly just I love walking around here. I love going on runs, right along the river. I have a miniature dachshund, which we talk about on the show all the time. So I'm sure everyone knows Fendi in this area. But I love just taking him out on my off days. And I haven't been to Kings Island yet. I need to go because I'm a roller coaster junkie. But I will not go during the Halloween scare fright nights. That's not for me. Not for me at all.
You can buy these little lanyards things where they won't scare you, which is dumb as hell. You got to spend $18.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I'm too scared to be.
Right,
exactly.
Or you can do what my wife would do. She'd walk around and have a cup. It wouldn't have anything be in the cup, but they were not allowed to scare you if you have a cup. And she had one time a guy came up to her and goes, "There's nothing in your cup," but he didn't scare her, so that's one way to get out of it. But it's a good time.
Yeah,
actually,
that would be me for sure. I like that cheat code.
A fun time is actually going to Winterfest when in the winter around Christmas. They've got it open for a few months. They have a few of the roller coasters open.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely freezing because it's
right.
maybe 35, 40 degrees outside, and you're doing 45 miles an hour on a roller coaster.
Yeah, that sounds really cold.
Oh, that's right. Blink is next week too.
I've heard a lot of things about that. I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of public arts display is I think, just so awesome. And Cincinnati does a great job just with the murals, much less the bigger, more interactive event. So that's a cool thing that hopefully you'll get a chance to.
One thing I've
experience
learned
more.
since being here is there's always something going on, and I love that. It's never a lack of events.
That's why people call this the biggest small city in the world. You know,
Yeah.
it's a small city, but there's always stuff going on.
Always,
There's
yeah.
always stuff to do.
Yeah, Oktoberfest a few weeks ago. Especially living down here, I step out of my apartment and there's always something happening. So that's great.
Wait till Red's opening day. You haven't seen nothing yet.
And then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm tired of the traffic.
Right. Exactly. All right. Once again, we are down here at the Moerlein Lager House. We're down here every Tuesday from 6 to 8, happy hours from 3 to 9. You guys can come on down. We're having a great time down here. We got Gabi Sorrentiino. I got to say it like that.
I love it.
From Fox 19. Joe Schmo and Neil, they're always here. But, I love you guys, too. I appreciate you guys coming here. Honestly do. So, where do we go from here? We got like a half hour left. What are you guys thoughts on the sports scene in general? I'll go with Neil. Neil, you got something, Joe?
Well, I was going to say, and I asked this beforehand. We're in the middle of MLB playoffs. Every series, and I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, Mets are up to nothing, but who do you think is going to play in the World Series? We'll put it that way if you want to.
Well, for me, I thought I said San Diego, but I really do like Philadelphia.
No, go Dodgers. Come on.
Oh, dude, I'm a 80s and 70s baby. We were in the NL West. I can't root for the Dodgers. But for the AL, I'm kind of like a Detroit.
Yeah, the Tigers have looked good. They've looked really good. I have to root for the Dodgers. My grandpa is like the biggest Dodger fan ever. He was a fan when they were the Brooklyn Dodgers, when he lived there, and now he lives in California. And this man watches every single Dodger game all the way through. My dad was so tired of him watching the games that he bought him his own set of headphones, and they're soundproof. And he makes him watch the games with his headphones on because my dad does not want to hear Dodger baseball all day long. So I have to root for the Dodgers on this one.
So, Gabby, since you say you're a Dodgers fan,
well, I'm not a fan. I'm supporting.
You're supporting them. But we just need your thoughts on the game the other night, the ending.
Oh my gosh,
and everything that transpired. What were your thoughts on that?
You're talking about like all the fans
and everything.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
that was insane.
The beer's getting thrown, the ball getting thrown.
Well, so the interesting thing is that obviously we were in the grind of getting all the Bengals stuff in on Sunday night, and it's a lot. We do two long shows, so we're editing, we're doing all this stuff, and we're like watching it on this small TV, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, the game has been paused, and he was pissed. He was so mad, and they weren't replaying it. We were like, what is happening? And then go on Twitter, see everything, and I mean, he did taunt the fans when he got that home run ball.
He definitely taunted.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I couldn't believe that.
That's the funny thing is what I didn't realize till later on is after he stole the home run from the fan, he came out and gave the fan a ball.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the guy chucked it at him. and then another one came out of the fan and out of the stand to hit him.
Hey,
That's what he's so mad about.
Give me all the chaos. We need some excitement. And yeah, I mean, obviously Dodger fans, it was a bad look for them, and then they lose by that much, so not great.
The real question here, obviously, Game 3 is tonight. Do we see tempers flare tonight in Game 3 because of how that stuff transpired the other night?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what San Diego fans are going to do. That's insane. Like I said, I love the chaos. Bring it on. I love the excitement.
Love the smoke. Just don't do anything dumb.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, fans stay the hell out of it. Don't throw beers on people. Don't do any of that dumb shit because that's somebody can get hurt. Throwing a beer isn't going to hurt somebody, but it's also going to piss someone off, and someone's going to jump in the stands and beat the you know what out.
It's a bad look for sure.
Exactly. I think I know we're talking about. Padres and Dodgers. I don't think either one of those two teams make it to the World Series. I've got the Phillies. I think they've got the best roster and that's healthy. The Dodgers, I envy the Dodgers. I grew up similar era, but Dodgers are well run. Old.
Philly's got one thing that not many teams don't, and that's Kyle Schwarber in the playoffs.
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
Zach Wheeler. They've got the best thing. Dodgers just keep getting hurt. Their pitching staff just keeps getting hurt, and they're stuck with a kind of a patchwork.
I love Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, I mean, I like Castellanos too.
I
That's
still
like
miss him.
Kyle Schwarber. I mean, again, they've got studs
Middletown's
pitching.
own.
From Middletown. I didn't know that.
Apparently.
Where have you been at?
Literally, Tom
See what I
Brenneman.
had to
Literally,
deal with?
Tom Brenneman literally said that every single time they played the Cubs.
Middletown's
He's from
own.
Middletown High School. No shit.
Kyle
He
Schwarber.
was from Middletown the other 18 games that played each other this year. In the American League, I don't know if I really want to see them, but I think it's going to be the Guardians. I don't think the Yankees have the pitching. They're hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Royals are going to be able to get through the Yankees lineup. I think the Guardians are going to
I
beat
can't
the
believe the
Yankees.
Royals made the freaking playoffs.
They're a well put together.
Oh, they
team.
are.
Their pitching is just good, not great compared to
Yeah.
the they have. I mean, Yankees have some friggin' horses. I mean,
Aaron Judge has not hit a home run in 15. They're not pitching to him.
well, but he's also has the
he-
worst strikeout rate.
But
in-
also
in
he's hitting
history.
189 in the postseason.
Yeah,
over the
he-
years, like he can have all the success he wants during the regular season, but when it comes in the postseason,
You're facing
and
better
then you're
pitching, and
seeing
facing-
better pitching, but they're going to get nothing out of him essentially on the
Yeah.
offensive end.
I do think they're going to get past Kansas City, but and as much as I'd like to see the Tigers, I think because Tarek Skubal's just an absolute beast. I think the Guardians just have too much. Jose Ramirez is the best player that nobody ever talks about. That man's he's a bad MFer. All he does is hit 35, 40 home runs, 35, 40 stolen bases. He plays a great defense, and I just think the Guardians are going to be in the World Series, and I think Philly's going to beat the Guardians. But again, we'll see. One small injury, we can see what happened to the Red and the Giants. Small injury can screw up the entire, the entire plan.
So if the Guardians do win the World Series, which I hope to God they don't, are we going to hear more about Kentucky being Cincinnati?
That's not an insult. Like, have any of these dickheads from Cleveland ever been to Cleveland or ever been to Kentucky? Kentucky's a hell of a nice state.
I like it.
It's beautiful. Have they ever been to Lexington? Have they ever seen the rolling hills of Kentucky?
My sister lives over there.
Exactly. Like, that's not an insult. Your guys' river caught fire. You guys are literally rusted out husk from the 1950s. Nobody gives a shit.
You live in Cleveland. I mean, do you see any more than that? Cleveland's awful.
And it's all just a joke because the airport's there. Okay. Cool.
So
So there was more
room over
Right,
there.
there
That's
was-
why they put it there.
there was real estate available in the
Right.
1960s.
Exactly.
It's 20 minutes from downtown. Who gives a shit?
It's 10 minutes from my house.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You can
West
take the
Side.
right. You can take the ferry. I'm like, that's not an insult.
No.
Like Northern Kentucky, like there's some beautiful neighborhoods. Fort Mitchell's gorgeous.
I mean, the thing
Hill
is-
Hills.
the thing is,
Like, what do we do? Why do we care?
we don't need to make shirts that says Cleveland's from Canada or Michigan because you're Cleveland.
We don't need to insult
Cleveland.
Canada. Canada has given us Joey Votto.
But it's
Why
Cleveland.
do we want to insult
Cleveland is
Cleveland?
awful.
Right. Cleveland is
Their name
Cleveland.
Their name is their football name is Brown. You know what Brown means? Color of.
The city's so shitty they had to change the name of the spelling because they didn't have enough room on their newspaper. Who does that? It was
They had-
Pleave.
They named their baseball team after statues. Guardians
And
on a
I mean-
bridge. Give me a break.
They should have gone back to the Spiders. Cleveland Spiders would have been.
That would have been
badass.
fine. I
That
would
would've
have
been
been. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah,
of
and as
of-
home just says, they've got Deshaun Watson. Yeah, they've got a sexual
and they have
predator
Deshaun
at
Watson.
quarterback.
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
screw Cleveland.
So
Cincinnati
again,
might be
rules
Kentucky.
here. We
Cleveland's-
don't like Cleveland. Okay.
Got that vibe. Just a little bit of a vibe though. Just a little vibe.
It's just using like Cincinnati's from Kentucky. Isn't it Kentucky? Okay.
Cleveland gave the sporting community one good thing, and that is LeBron James.
That's Akron.
Well, Akron, yes,
Akron.
but
Yeah, that's not even Cleveland. That's Akron.
right outside Cleveland. But still,
Still,
the only good thing that's came out of
That's
Cleveland
it.
sports in recent years.
well,
Recent years.
yeah. I was saying you say Jim Brown. That guy was pretty good.
That guy's kind of
That guy was kind of good. But yeah. All right. So we've been on for an hour and 51 minutes. You guys got anything else you want to bring up? If not, I'm gonna probably end this thing. You good?
Yeah, we're all good.
All right, Gabby, do me a favor. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you, and what you guys got going on Fox 9 before we get out of here.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, G Sorrentino TV. I also have a Facebook page, Gabi Sorrentino TV. I post all my updates, all my stories on there. And then you can watch Reagan and I do sports wrap every Saturday and Sunday night. Joe and Jeremy follow with Bengals Breakdown on Sunday night. 2 really great shows. They break it down. They have a ton of sound from inside the locker room, from press conferences on there. It's really great. And then usually you can find me on Fox 19 a few days during the week. Just depends on our schedule and everything. But I'm having a great time. Thank you so much for having me. I've loved all my time in Cincinnati so far, and hope you guys think I'm doing a good job.
You did great. I appreciate you guys. She came in here on her off day, people, to come out and hang out with us dumbasses, talk sports. Neil, tell everybody where they can find you before we get out of here.
Yeah, so you guys can find me over at CincinnatiRivals.com. I co-host the Bearcat Blitz podcast with Russ Heltman of Cincinnati Bearcats SI. So you can check us out over there. You can find us at CincinnatiRivals.com. And you can find me on Twitter or Facebook, Neil Meyer. MeyerNeil6 is my Twitter handle. So you can check us out all over there as well.
Joe, you got any parting words?
No, don't follow me anywhere. It's a bad idea.
I agree with that. Some of the stuff he tweets out, I don't even want to follow him. All right, guys. Other than that, make sure you guys follow. We'll be live streaming on ZTV, Facebook, X, Twitter, all that stuff. Check out Midwest Best Barbecue. I got to bring up the graphics here real quick. Midwest Best Barbecue. Get you some CTB wings, some Uno wings, some G-Funk, pulled pork sandwiches, all that cool stuff. Check out Meyer Door and Windows. He's not. I'm giving a plug, and he's not even listening to me. Check him out at www.cincinnati.com. Well, what is the more for? I'm curious, Maddie. What is the Meyer Windows and Door and more? What everyone wants to know what the more is. What's the more? Siding, basic brickwork, small dent. Who does dents in houses? Oh, decks. I thought you said dents. That's what I thought too. Anyway, go. Yeah, exactly. Just go check out Meyer Windows and Doors. Awesome that piece. Go check out Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game, right in the heart of Cheviot. You got big ass TV screen, beer specials, free parking, food trucks. Again, it's Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. Make sure you join us next Tuesday live here at the Moerlein Lager House. Live show starts at 6, goes all the way to 8. Happy hour starts at 3, goes till 9. So we're going to get off, and we still keep drinking for $5. So you guys come on down. Everybody who's watching the show, you're missing it. But come on down here. And then the next Bengals home game, check out Mercedes-Benz at Fort Mitchell at Moerlein Lager House preview experience 3 hours before every Bengals game. Get your tickets and everything. $75 for an open bar and a food spread. It is delicious and awesome, and I love it, and I suggest you guys do it. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and that's just sports, baby. See ya!
They still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one Hubbard, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. We always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Jaceki in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.